whatsoever a man soweth, whatsoever a mind soweth, that shall he also reap. He says, I have not finished my contract. Sometimes I even wonder about infant mortality, rather. Is if some of them had a contract just to come back, and all they had to do was be born again and then leave. And had to fulfill that script in someone's experience. Okay, they're saying the phone line is a little low. Okay, and let us know if that's a little better. They're saying the phone line is a little low. Okay, so when we begin to start to see the contract, we begin to understand now we've got to begin to understand that we are here on a contract. I believe that before I left heaven, I must have told God somewhere in eternity past, there are so many prophecies I will do on this plane. In certain areas of, when I was up at the monastery, there were some monks that believed that they had to say so many prayers before they could leave this plane. So they would be saying prayers constantly all day so that they can make their exits from this plane. But wouldn't that be interesting, Prophetess Kelly, that if we found out that some says that, well, I will go and bring 1,000 messages to people. Somebody else, well, I will go and do 10,000 messages to people. I'll go and bring 1,000,000 prophecies to people. And the heavens looked and said, 1,000,000 prophecies? How will you prophesy to 1,000,000 individuals? And I left heaven and said, behold, I show you a mystery. Wow. And said, let him leave heaven now, forgetting. And see if one, this almost sounds like a movie. See if one, yes, if he can remember that he is a prophet. Two, if he will remember that he has to prophesy to millions of people. And three, will he be able to find a mechanism to make it happen? So one night on March 21st, the young boy, Eben or Jordan, gets down on his knees and says, God, if you tell me what I will be today in a church service, I will give my life to you. He walks down the church that is not into prophecy and stuff. He gives an offering, and walking back at 15 years old, a pastor by the name of Bishop Rouse points out and said, young man, walking back to your seat. And I turn around, and he said, you are a preacher. I give my life unto the Lord that Friday night. Then turning around, a month later, I had a dream. And the Lord came into my dream and says, you must prophesy for me. What is prophecy? I went to the elders of my church at that time. They told me prophecy went out with the apostles. There's no more prophets. I could have believed my elders and been going around in circles, and there would have never been the school of the prophets. There would have never been a Zoe ministry. There would have never been a streaming audience. We would not be prophesying through the internet. But for some reason, that didn't resonate with me. So I stood up in the church and just started yelling out and prophesying. Thus saith the Lord, verily, verily. I didn't even know how I knew to do that. I would just spontaneously get up in the middle of the church. They would try to play the organ over me. They would sit and listen. And they didn't throw me out because I grew up in that church as a little boy. So they pulled my mother to the side and said, your son is confused. So everybody was whispering around the church. Jordan's boy is confused. He said God told him to prophesy. While that was going on in my little church there, had not met because in eternity past, me and Prophetess Deborah was together and we promised each other we would meet each other on this plane. Some way we will get lost in real estate, but we will find our way to. She was over somewhere else at the age of 12 years of age, prophesying. What were you doing around 12 to 15 while I was getting ready to get saved?
Master Prophet, I was busy in the things of God, prophesying, getting close to the woman of God, which was my pastor, loving the church, staying in church. It was all God.
And so here you are prophesying there. I'm prophesying over here. Trying to find a man or a woman of God that even believe in prophecy today. She was prophesying and warning them that thieves was in the church and all kind of stuff. And they were accepting her prophetic ministry. But way back in eternity past, there was 5 kids there waiting. And even the young prophet says, this has got to happen, else I don't have an entry into the earth. To continue a prophetic institution and continue a lineage of prophecy. And we wanted from day one the first child to be a boy. And it was prophesied that it was going to be a boy. Am I right, Prophet Deborah?
Yes, Master Prophet.
And so we just knew that Prophet Deborah was carrying a son, a boy. And his name would be called Joshua. Mm-hmm. And we looked, and out came Naomi. We said, where is Joshua?
Joshua didn't appear.
Joshua didn't appear. One of the prophetesses named Prophetess Kelly. Prophetess Kelly.
With my prayer partner.
Her prayer partner. She had a prayer partner named Prophetess Kelly.
Yeah.
And
that's funny.
Interesting, right?
Kelly, yeah. Mm-hmm. That was my prayer partner.
Yeah, God always shows up. She was an older woman. Old enough
to be my grandmother.
Old enough to be his grandmother. That was and her name was Prophetess Kelly. Mm-hmm. And Prophetess Kelly could prophesy.
Oh, Jesus, can she prophesy?
She could prophesy.
Yes.
She was they called her the chief prophetess.
Ooh.
She was a chief prophet. And she was prophesying. She said, but I looked and I saw the boy. So, Prophet Deborah got pregnant 3 months later. We says, well, this is definitely Joshua. Boop! Bethany. We said, what happened? What went wrong? And so, we had stopped making children. For about 6 years. Is that about right, Prophet Deborah?
Mm-hmm. 6 years.
6 years. We just stopped.
Joshua.
But it was strange that when we said yes to the call of God in ministry and got fully blossomed in this ministry, then came Joshua. And then all the other boys after that.
Yep.
And so, when Prophetess Deborah began to name, when we began to name Joshua, when we named, was a child of promise. Then we named Aaron, which we saw him, that would be the bringer of light for his generation.
That's supposed to be the last one.
And he was supposed to be the last one. He was supposed to have sealed the book.
Joshua, Aaron,
but something happened. He came early or something? Aaron. Unexpected. Something happened that it didn't seal. We just knew that was going to be it. Then up came